like, especially, like, it can fit any lifestyle, any religion, any person.
Yeah.
You can find a way out there that you can walk and be significantly healthier than you were, you know?
I was talking to a guy this morning, and he really loved the fact that I had told him somewhere in our conversation that he gets to design his recovery. He's like, I like that. I get to design it. I was like, you sure do.
It's yours.
It's yours, man, because you're going to own it. And it was neat to see him get excited about it and extract that out of the dialogue that we had had.
You know, my recovery coach, like, I never had a sponsor, although I do like AA meetings. I've never really had a sponsor. My recovery coach, he was hardcore AA guy. He accepted me. He had said, you know, you're the first medical assisted treatment client that I've had, so I'm going to be learning from you. And as we walked the road, I started doing things like, hey, you know, I got to write these letters down. I'm feeling bad, you know. And he said, you're actually working steps this and this. And I go, what are the steps? I had no idea what AA was. So I'm wondering, and this is not to be disrespectful, but I'm wondering if the 12 steps is actually an outline for other recoveries, because it seems like I was working steps 4 and 5, and I didn't even know steps 4 and 5 existed.
Right. No, that's a good question. I've found so many commonalities in all of it, and you know, you can design any of the programs to contain everything that you want to get. I gravitate towards finding a balance in my life and what that looks like. And so for me, that is, first of all, we had come to admit that we just can't do this anymore, right?
No.
The simple stuff that's in place with the 12 steps lines up real well. I'll tell you that there are people that I work with when it gets to step 4 and 5 in the 12 steps, there's a lot of stuff there from a therapeutic standpoint that I don't know if I want people sharing with a sponsor. I think, you need to get therapy, so that needs to be a part of your recovery program. I don't know if that's the safest, best place to share old wounds and stuff.
There is. So I had to take this harm reduction course at the end of last year, and one of the things that was brought up is you shouldn't have to get therapy to be part of medical assisted treatment. And the whole room went back and forth about it, but it was interesting, some of the comments that were made about why therapy should not be mandatory, right? Like they had said, well, some people get therapy by playing football. Some people are therapy by hanging out with their peer recovery coach. And I says, I'm not a therapist.
Walking their dogs.
I'm not a counselor, right? But it was looked at as the medical assisted treatment was kind of holding the methadone, the Suboxone hostage, because you also need therapy. And it's like, for me, like, the therapy was where it really worked.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was taking my dose, it really leveled me off. Like, I didn't have any cravings. As a matter of fact, I remember I'm sitting there like, now what? You know what I mean? Like I don't have to look for pills anymore. I don't have to stress out. Now what do I do? And then here come the therapy.
Right.
And this is what I mean about multiple pathways. If that's really true and some people just cannot do therapy, I mean, as long as they're getting help, I totally agree with that pathway. But there's still some underlying rooted issues that have to be addressed to be a person in recovery. Like, those issues, however you address them, have to be faced and, put to bed as far as, like, acceptance.
I think I know why multiple pathways seem like they all have the 12-step underlying into it. It's because AA was the original.
It's the OG.
I mean, it's the one that started everything. So, and it does. That's what the point is of going through those steps, is being able to deal with things and cope properly and not have to go to the drink or the drug or whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be that. It could be gambling. People have internet addictions. I mean, there's so many things you can be addicted to. Shopping.
Right.
Anything in excess is not good for you.
I think the 12-step meetings or any support group meetings they're crucial to me from a standpoint of connection and community. That's where I get connected with people and stay in tune with the different stages of recovery, where people are at, so forth. I need that I need that connection, but I need personal growth too. And my personal growth comes from a number of different channels, and one of them is therapy, right?
Yeah.
So I think, remove the substance use disorder, and a lot of our problems go away. The cool part is we now have the ability to solve problems, and we're getting tools to do that. And in therapy, you can, get some guidance or the ability to recognize what things need to be worked on and addressed. Because you're growing, you're changing. You might not have problems that are going to occur to an early recovery because you're not the same person. You're not living the same life. You see things differently, and a lot of things new for the first time. So talking...
New set of glasses.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
One of the things that I love about the 12 steps is when you evolve into the next transition, now you can go back to some of the steps that maybe you just touched on, and you can understand them more because you're in a different place mentally, physically, emotionally. You can take more from that step. Sometimes we have to go back and redo those steps, and It's not something that you did wrong. It's actually something that you did right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think the 12 of any program is a one and done.
Right.
I mean, the first thing I have to do every morning is I have to wake up and I have to realize that I have untreated alcoholism, and I need to do the steps to get through my day, because I've got 24 hours I got to get through. I better pack my day full.
Yeah, I love how Will Bridey uses the same 12 steps, but they see it as a circle as opposed to a linear line, right? So as soon as you get through the steps, you're starting all over again and begin that cycle, just like the day or the year. And
same thing
else.
with NA. Like, they have the same similar steps as well. It's just more towards narcotics than alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah, well, man, what else?
So tell us about what you do right now.
So I continue to advocate. When, at NEMSAS, I became a coach. I was able to become a trainer and advocate. And then I recently was able to get into working with a local treatment center where I'm able to transfer a lot of the same things that you do as a recovery coach as a peer support specialist. And I love it. I get to work with people that are a little further along than treatment, whether they're doing intensive outpatient, or they have stabilized in their recovery and they're in a maintenance stage. So kind of covering all stages of recovery. And everything that I learned in being a coach and just a person in recovery, I get to utilize. So it's neat and it's comforting and it's beautiful to be able to take something that's so important to me, right? And then be able to work with people. And I get to do it every day. And I don't know, I love it. And I get to be engaged with folks like you and different organizations. And I'm always talking about how much the landscape of recovery has changed in the short time that I've been here. And it's really beautiful and it's easy to see. And to take people that are new and let them get a glimpse of what that looks like, it's there to see now.
Right.
And we're in a good time for recovery. It's a really good time.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to NEMSIS, all the people that work there, because they actually gave us the springboard, all three of us, by putting us through the recovery coach training and the other trainings that they offered. And they're just such a great organization, and they connect so well with the community, what they do, how they help afterwards. Their model is great because, number one, it works. But number two, you can tell there was a lot of thought into their process. I can honestly tell you that if I did not find NEMSIS, I was going to be dead. And and every time I see that building, I always think about the first time I walked in there. It was I just massacred myself before I got in there. I was sand, And as I went through their process, they gave me my paintbrush because this is what I was told. The bad news is you have to give up your old life. But the good news is you get to paint a whole new one. Right. And they didn't paint the picture. They gave me the brush. And as I was going through therapy, this grand picture started to form. And then once I became a coach, now I have the frame, right? And then as I'm going through, I'm adding detail to my picture.
Absolutely.
And they taught me how to do that. And they taught us how to be coaches. And, shout out to NEMSIS. We love you to death. But listen,
sure do.
Tom, thank you so much for being on our show today. We apologize for the echo last time, but I feel like you were able to tell your story. And we're very blessed to have you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Really, thank you.
All right. See y'all next time.
All right, we love you guys.